It is officially nice outside, which means summer reading, and there is honestly nothing I love more than picking up a book in the summer by the pool, just anywhere outside basically. Reading by the beach is my favorite thing probably ever. So we are going to go through every single book that I have on my TBR for the summer. These are like my priority reads. These are the books that I want to read and be done with by the end of the summer. The second it hits September 1st, I want these books to be read. Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, it is very nice to meet you. My name is Madison. So let's get into every single book I have on my summer TBR. So before I get started, some of these go hand in hand with each other. Like there could be a new release coming out this summer, but I want to read the book before or the interconnected book that goes along with it. So that's what I mean when they go hand in hand. I want to read the book before the new one comes out, obviously. So I have all of the books behind me, but obviously some have not released yet, so I am not going to have that, but I will put those on the screen when we get to them. So starting off, this is a new release, but I still have not read her release from last summer because it got so much hate, so I just kind of like shied away from it, but I really liked her first one. And I'm talking about Carly Fortune. So Meet Me at the Lake is the one that I still have not read yet, but This Summer Will Be Different just came out. I love her covers. The first one also goes along really well with this. They're just the cutest covers. If you haven't read Carly Fortune's books, they are like mainly set either on a beach house or a lake house, and it is like every single summer vibe you can possibly imagine. Think like summer romance, beach house. It is just perfect. A lot of people didn't like this because I guess there's a trope in this one that they didn't like, but there was also the same trope I believe in the first one, and I really enjoyed that book. I like thoroughly remember giving that book a 5 stars. That was like 2 summers ago, but I still remember thoroughly enjoying it. And this just came out, so this is like priority because I want to lay down by the pool and just read these books. Like these are books I will devour in one sitting because it is just a summer romance, like the definition of a summer romance. So I want to read this and then get to this one. Next up, we have Expiration Dates by Rebecca Searle. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I just kind of picked this up on a whim when I was at a bookstore in Virginia. I thought the concept was very cool. If you don't know what this one is about, her name is Daphne, the main character, and she gets a slip of paper every single time she starts dating a new man, and it has the expiration date of how long they're going to be together. But then she starts dating someone and she does not receive a slip of paper. It only has his name on it. That's it. No expiration date, nothing. So I thought that was really cool, and the cover really is just giving summer, like, come on. So this is also one of my priority ones. It is fairly short, so I feel like I could probably get this done in a day or two because it's only like 250 pages. I would love to just kick myself in the face because I had no clue that Abby Jimenez's books were interconnected standalones. However, I still have only read one Abby Jimenez book, and that was Yours Truly. And I absolutely love that. The representation of anxiety in that book alone made it a 5 star for me because I felt so seen, and it was honestly just very relatable and well written very realistically. I didn't know that Yours Truly was connected to Part of Your World. So that is the one that I want to read because I also have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, which is her newest release. So everyone says you need to read Yours Truly and Part of Your World before you read this because it makes it all that more special. You don't have to, obviously, but I want it to be as special as possible. So I want to get Yours Truly, and then I want to read this one. And everyone that I have seen read this, I've seen them crying. So I took this to the beach actually in Miami whenever I went for my friend's bachelorette, but I did not get much reading done on that trip. So this one is a priority read. Read Part of Your World. I already read Yours Truly, Just for the Summer. Next is another one that I need to read the first book in the series before the new one comes out, which I believe it comes out in July, if I'm not mistaken. That is Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. I have put off this book for so long because the thickness of it, and I said the same thing before I started reading the Knock 'Em Out series by Lucy Score. Romances, I just don't think they need to be this big. Another thing why I've not jumped into this is I read The Fine Print, which is also by Lauren Asher. It is the first book of the Dreamland Billionaire series, and I have not read the other two because I really hated The Fine Print. But I will say it wasn't the writing that I hated, it was just the characters. I hated them. So that's why I've been very like wary to go into this one, but this is what I want to read because Love Unwritten comes out, and I know people raved about this one. People really enjoyed this one. And I know people really enjoy the Dreamland Billionaire series, but the ones that they seem to really like I haven't read. So I want to read this one so I can prepare for Love Unwritten, which is the second one. I know Lauren Asher has a lot of books. She also has like an F1 series, I believe, like Throttled. I don't know what else is in it, but I've only read the one, so I think I need to just give her another chance and not judge it based on the fine print, because I hated that book. Next up is The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. Again, how can you not just want to read this in the summer? They are by a palm tree. This is also a sports romance, and you can't go wrong with a sports romance. I really don't think you can. I read When in Rome, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. I remember really enjoying that, and I also have Practice Makes Perfect, which is the interconnected one of that one. I could be babbling this whole video about interconnected standalones, but I don't think I'm going to read the cheat sheet before this. I honestly think I'll just jump into this one because it's just, her books are very short and sweet. They get to the point, you know what you're getting out of them, a good palate cleanser. This is what it's for. The next one, this is also a very big TikTok author who I have never read one of her books. She was very big like on the beginning of Book Talk, I believe, and I just never got into any of her romances. I have some bought, I just haven't read them yet, but this one really caught my eye because I am a golf girly. I love golf, I love golfing, I love watching golf. So Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey, I wanted to read this in April whenever the Masters was on, but I just never got to it. But this is a golf romance, and I've heard of hockey romances, I've heard of football romances, I've heard of everything in the book, but I have not seen a golf romance. So I'm thoroughly excited to read this one. And I've never read Tessa Bailey, but people do enjoy her writing. I believe it's just another quick romance author. Again, as you can see, all of these have been romances so far. I think I have a few literary fiction on here maybe, and one or two fantasy, but like that's it. A lot of them are romance. As soon as the weather gets nice, that's all I want to do is read romance books. Next, if you could not tell by the size of it, I want to read Powerful. I thought whenever I got this, I was going to want to jump into it right away, but again, the warm weather makes me just want to keep reading my romance books. But I want to read this like right before Reckless comes out, which is like literally probably my most highly anticipated release of the year. I am so excited for that. It is the second book in the Powerless universe. But this is the novella, and this follows Adina, which is actually Peyton's best friend in the books, and it happens the same time that Powerless happens. So we're getting her point of view of everything. And I think I want to read this like right before Reckless comes out, and just like everything will be brought together and I'll be back in the world and I'll be so excited for Reckless more than I already am. Next is actually a book I do not have because it is not released yet, but it is Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver. I read Butcher and Blackbird and I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. It made me want to vomit a few times, but if you are a true crime girly, you will absolutely love it. I loved the aspects of the true crime part of it. I felt like I was reading a podcast, which I don't even know if that makes sense, but I'm a true crime girl, and there was comedy in it, there was romance, there was true crime. It was very gory. Please look up the trigger warnings. I was completely shocked when I opened the book and there were like 30 listed, like absolutely insane. But Leather and Lark follows his brother and his love interest in it, I believe, and I'm very excited. Like very, very excited because that book actually like had me cracking up. Okay, the next ones, this is like 3 books that I want to read this summer, and I have 2. The third one is not out yet, and I have been putting it off because I don't mind smutty books, but it's not my favorite part of a book. I am more of a girl who likes character development and stories more than the smut part. Do you know what I mean? So I know these books are like very heavily smutty, so that's why I've been putting them off, but I feel left out, period. That's it. I feel left out. And during the winter, I said I was going to read this because it's like ice skating, but I didn't end up reading it. But we have Icebreaker and Wildfire by Hannah Grace. And the third one is Daydream, which I know people are really excited about because it follows someone named Henry. Again, didn't read these, don't know who it is, but I know these are like very heavy on the smut. And I am someone who likes intricate stories more, but everyone likes these, so I'm gonna give them a try. Okay, another one that I don't have because it did not come out yet is 1,000 Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole. I read 1,000 Boy Kisses my junior year of college because Steph Bohr was like raving about it, and I had my heart broken, shattered, completely stomped on. I could not believe the way that book made me feel and how much emotion it brought out of me. Oh my god. And this follows her sister, which I believe it's like after the aftermath of what happened in 1,000 Boy 1,000 Boy Kisses. And I don't think it's going to be able to get any sadder than what the hell I experienced in 1,000 Boy Kisses. Like, I really don't think that's possible. Nonetheless, if I'm feeling down or I need a book that is just going to pull my emotions out, that is the book I'm going to be reaching for this summer. Another one that just released, so I haven't gotten to the bookstore to get it yet, is The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. Okay, I read Love in Other Words, one of my favorite books ever. Perfect childhood friends to enemies to lovers book that I have ever read in my whole entire life, and I will stand by that. That is an amazing book. The writing is amazing. I didn't read that on Honeymooners because I know a lot of people did not like it, and I'm someone who needs to stop basing my opinions off other people's reviews. I'm really bad at that. It just scares me. It intimidates me because I'm like, if all these people didn't like it, then I probably won't like it. What if it ends up being my favorite book? But again, I did not read The Honeymooners, but the Paradise Problem concept seems really, really interesting to me. Basically, two people are faking a relationship so that one of the characters can receive his inheritance. Billionaire money, right up my alley. Right up my alley. So I think I'm definitely gonna read this one this summer. Their books always just scream summer to me. Next up, a book that has been on my TBR for way too long that I went to get rid of. Not get rid of, but I'm excited to read. Like I said, I read the Knock 'Em Out series a few months ago after putting it off forever, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I went to read the other Lucy Score book I have, which is by Fred. And this is a workplace, office, rivals to enemies to lovers, all that fun stuff. And his mom is actually the boss of the company and hires the girl, and they're forced to work together. And I just know Lucy Score is gonna like kick this one out of the park. I just know this is gonna be a good book. And I see a lot of people say they enjoyed this one. This is just a standalone, so it's not a part of a series like a lot of her other books are. But I've had this one forever, and I just like the concept of it, and I really need to get it done. Again, if I'm gonna read a romance book, a thick one like this, it'll be by the pool. Next, I am currently in my Boys of Tommen phase. I read Binding 13, I read Keeping 13, I read Saving 6, and I'm currently on Redeeming 6. So this puts basically this book at the very tippy top of my summer TBR. Now, if this disappoints me, I'm going to cry. A lot of people have given it 4 stars, which is obviously an amazing rating, but the people who have been like waiting for this, I haven't seen them like, oh my god, that was the best book ever. And after reading these books, this is all I want. Claire and Gibbs's book, that's all I want. And I really don't think it's going to disappoint me. I don't see how it can. Gibbsy is just amazing in the way he cares for Claire, like even in the background and how he talks about her. I know this is going to be a good book. Okay, I know it's going to be good. But I hope it's like a 6-star read. Because all the other books in this series, I never thought I could find something that means as much to me as the Magnolia Park series. Hey, Boys of Tommen. This is what I'm talking about when I love character development and just the intricate stories. The stuff that these characters go through makes the book, it's obviously super sad, but it makes the book so interesting, and it's a fictional world, and it's just, I feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm watching these people from my perspective, and that is just how good Chloe Walsh's writing is. I'm so excited to read this. Last but not least, the last 2 books we have behind me, I've had for a long time, probably a year since last summer, maybe a little longer. This is like the queen of summer reads, I feel like, and a lot of people love her writing, and I think they're more literary fiction with subplots of romance, and I know I'm gonna love her books because I love that kind of writing. We have Elin Hilderbrand. These are the 2 books I have, The Hotel in Nantucket and The 5-Star Weekend. The only thing that I know about this lady is she writes books based on the beach in Nantucket. So I'm not gonna read this in the dead of winter in November or January. No, I'm gonna read this now, okay, when the weather is warm. Again, I know nothing about her books, but the font is super big, and I'm pretty sure these are books that you're just going to keep turning and it's going to go by so quickly. And I hear so much praise for Elin Hilderbrand's books and her writing, so I'm very excited to read these ones. And my mom has a few of her other ones, so if I like these, I will go to those ones next. So yeah, you guys, that was all of the books that I want to have priority read at the end of the summer. I'm hoping that they're done. They're off my TBR. I can check them off and have a good summer reading month. But I hope you guys enjoyed this short little video of my summer TBR. I am so excited to read these, and I would love to hear what is on your summer TBR. If you enjoyed watching this, please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.